So, Shishilan Pasalan. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's get into it. Shishilan's main abilities are Wave Immunity and Strengthen. At 99% health, he gets triple his damage, so it goes up to 9k DPS, which is very nice. And also the Wave Immunity really helps because of his 100 knockback count, which means if he even gets hit by like a doge, he'll get sent back. I just want to preface this for all the new players. His normal and evolved form are extremely bad. So his normal form, like all the Nekolugas, is just a placeholder. It doesn't really do anything. It's kind of like the basic cat, except it costs 4,500. And his evolved form only has 1 KB count and 850 health. So using him is extremely risky, and it doesn't even have big rewards, so yeah, not really worth using. Going back to Shishilan's stats, we can see what kind of Uber this is. It's a nuker. Massive damage with decent range, cost, and a long time between attacks. Hold up, this is kind of sounding like... Okay, so I know Shishilan's just looking like a Bahamut clone, but he's a good clone if he is. Way better survivability because of all the knockback counts and more health, as well as Survivor. He has more damage when he's strengthened. And also, you can use True Form Bahamut when you use Shishilan. Not to mention the Wave Immunity, which just carried me in Dark Web 3 stars, you can see. Alright, so here's another 3-star stage I can show you Shishilan in. And yes, I'm using these videos to get some of the stars done for my SOL. And stages like this show you just how damn slow Shishilan is, because I put this on triple speed, and you know, he's taking a sweet time to get to the front line, which it isn't always a bad thing, because I mean, he's kind of a backliner, you know, he shouldn't rush up ahead, but it can be annoying, and if you're one of those players who likes speedrunning stages, you're not going to like Shishilan. And another thing to note about Shishilan is, even though, you know, I'm not doing it here, you almost always want to get him juiced up before he goes and fights, because 3k DPS is not a very attractive number. But you don't have to just send Shishilan out and get him hit, because that can kind of screw up your strats sometimes. Instead, just send him out, and, you know, he's bound to get hit eventually when the enemy pushes. And if he's not being pushed, then you're winning, so it doesn't even matter. So, where to use Shishilan? He is a really good generalist, and he's well known for that, so you can use him in a lot of places. But his biggest weakness is enemies that outrange him. I know that sounds dumb, because, you know, if you outrange something, you're probably going to kill it, but with Shishilan, it's worse than normal, because he's super slow, he has a really long attack windup, and he has 100 KB. So, say you're facing Master A, right? Only outranges Shishilan by 5. If you're using something like, say, Megadora, he could still probably attack him fine because he only has 3 KB, but Shishilan, he walks into Master A's range, he's just gonna get knocked back over and over until he dies. Okay, so I've talked a lot of crap about Shishilan, so now I'm gonna talk about all the good stuff, and there's a lot of it. So, Shishilan is best at stages where the boss is just really strong and he's the frontliner. So, Kugelschreiber, after you kill the sloth, he's pretty good to use. Because as you can see, you know, before he's strengthened, he doesn't do a lot of damage, but he can take a beating because of all his knockback counts. So he'll stay in the count, and when he has that strength, he just nukes whatever's in front of him. As you just saw, the Aros got destroyed. And now that the Dober has come out, and this guy's a wave dude, Shishilan's fine, you know, he can just take all the waves. Now, my favorite thing about Shishilan is he's good against enemies that not all nukers are. So, for example, we just saw Aros get wrecked. And most nukers, when they have long time between attacks, they aren't good against pushing enemies. They're good against slower ones, like, let's say, the face, for example. But Shishilan's different because he has such good survivability, as he's getting beaten up by freaking Assassin Bear here, but he has such great survivability that, you know, even the pusher enemies who kind of run into him, they don't kill him, they just knock him back, and they strengthen them when they do it. So he's really good against all types of enemies, as long as he outranges them. So, to summarize, the pros. Godlike survivability. You know, he never dies. Giant damage and DPS towards everything. Wave immunity. And Survivor. And now for the cons. Slow speed. Long time between attack. Long attack wind up, so he tends to miss if the enemies have a lot of knockback counts. and he gets absolutely clowned on by anything that outranges him. But, you know, that's most cats in this game anyway, so not too big of a con. If I had to rate Shishilan on a tier list, well, I wouldn't, because the tier lists are kind of inspecific, so I'm going to give him 4 ratings. Early game, S tier if you have his true form. If not, he's garbage, because, you know, I already said they suck. Mid game, once again, S tier, because he can just destroy all the bosses in mid game. And end game, probably B tier, because most of the enemies start having backliners, which Shishilan sucks against. And now his specialist tier, his niche tier, S tier again, because, you know, the wave immunity really helps him, and he outranges almost all the wave enemies in the game, because they're usually low range, like Corey and stuff. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the video. This is my first somewhat effort video. Most of them are just clips on this YouTube channel right now. And like and leave a comment if you enjoyed, and leave in the comments what Uber you want next, or it doesn't have to be an Uber, but, you know, whatever you want. I have hella Ubers. I only have one Fest exclusive though, so don't ask for that. Also, I'd really appreciate some feedback on just what I should do better and what was good, because I'm really tired right now, so I don't feel like watching it back more than once. Okay, but enough of just the random rambling I'm doing. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Probably next week, maybe not, depends. All right, bye-bye.